say I have the passion for hospitality and tourism. I'll say this is because I read BSc Home Science as my undergraduate course. And then I think I love, it's not like I think, but I love cooking. Being of service to people. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
What are your expectations when you joined? What do you want to be within the space, hospitality and tourism?
Okay, so personally, I think I would like to be a better person in terms of with my side business that I've started. I hope to take it, should I say, expand. Yeah. Right now it's I'll say it's a bit of a small scale, but I hope that by the time I'm done with this course, I'll be able to expand and then maybe I'll end up serving some institutions and stuff. Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right,
Joan.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Joan Agbola. I live in the Volta region of Ghana. I'm a teacher by profession. I read catering and hospitality at the BSc level. So now actually I'm somebody who like traveling, moving around. I spend even my last money just to visit some place. So actually entering into the field of hospitality and tourism, even though there are two things, I really love the tourism aspect of the course. So I believe with this course, it will expose me to a lot of things about tourism and tourist hunting, and also try a tourist area, a natural tourist area where people can visit. So that's my main aim of this course, actually.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Joanne. Jemima?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Jemima Saki from Takrady. I work with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority as in charge of estate and environment. I also have some supervision over the hospitality section, and I joined this course to be able to have more insight into what hospitality is about, and I think I also have developed some interest in the field, and I hope to better my knowledge about hospitality and possibly look out for investment avenues in the sector as I explore with this course. So that's why I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you. Gloria?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Kwakye Gloria, and I have my degree in tourism and hospitality management. I joined this course because I love tourism and hospitality, and my vision is to gain something to help the tourism and hospitality management, to help the tourism and hospitality industry in Ghana. So yeah, to be able to change some phases in the industry. Yeah, that's the reason why I joined this program.
Okay, excellent. Now?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
So my name is Lydia Nimaku, but I prefer to be called Namomo. It's also my house name, sort of, yes. Currently I'm working with Minex 360 as an administrator, but I also run a side business, food and catering service business called Kenten Foods. So I'll say I'm kind of already in the hospitality field. As I also read family and consumer sciences from the University of Ghana, Legon, yes. And why hospitality and tourism? wanted to gain more knowledge in the hospitality industry, and also, like I already said, explore the tourism industry and see how well or how best I can get some, business opportunities, and then, make some money. Yes, so that's it for me.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Patricia. Is Patricia here? Okay, I think she's dropped.
Not yet, though.
Okay, I thought
But she'll join us soon.
Yeah, okay.
She'll join us soon.
Okay, so we have Patricia and Kwame to join us. All right, thank you, guys, for the introduction. And now, let me take the opportunity to introduce, our guest lecturer, whom I've come to know, and sort of doing a thing or two with. And his name is Mr. Kwakye Donkor, who is the Chief Executive Officer of ATLF, which is African Tourism Leadership Forum. The profile is a long one. You can imagine big people like this, their profiles are always a long one, but I'll try to shorten it up. So Mr. Kwakye Donkor is a renowned strategist with over 25 years experience in strategy formulation, strategic marketing, brand management, and communications. He has demonstrated experience in education, financial services, hotels and hospitality, as well as travel and tourism industries. He's skilled and strong in strategy formulation, business advisory, leadership development, coaching, digital marketing and innovation, brand strategy development, market planning, mega event planning, project management, and hotel and resort development business advisory. Kwakye is the lead professional in ATP's advisory service, which is African Tourism Partners Advisory Services team, and leads the ATP's formulation of tourism strategy, destination marketing strategies and plans, as well as capacity and skills development assignments. Prior to becoming CEO of ATP, Kwakye worked in senior executive positions at Retosa, and as the executive marketing director of Platina Golf Limited, Fancourt, one of the leading golf resorts in the world. He has also worked for, among others, Provident Financial, which is UK and South Africa, and African Bank Investment Limited. He's a chartered marketer with a bachelor degree in marketing, graduate diploma in marketing, graduate diploma in advertising, and MBA. So this is the shortest that I can actually get from his long profile. And I say that I've worked with him. He invited me to speak on ATLF, and obviously a lot of other projects that we've planned since meeting. We have signed a memorandum of understanding with his company, between the business school and his company. And very soon we're supposed to start the master classes and the training capacity buildings in hospitality and tourism. Unfortunately, we had COVID visiting us, so it was difficult for us to start, but some point we'll definitely start. So today, and let me also say that his company, I don't know whether he would like me to say, but his company has actually won the bid, World Bank bid, to actually help Ghana in its capacity building. I think one of the areas in hospitality and tourism. Maybe he will actually tell us a little bit about that as well. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Africa's main man connected to the global hospitality and tourism industry. So if you want to get into the industry seriously and full time, this is your main man to actually speak to. Mr. Kwakye, thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you. Okay, thanks for all the accolades. Thank you, I appreciate it. I think before I start, I know that we are trying to save data. Do we say data or data in Ghana? Which one?
Data, we say. American data.
Okay. Can I at least see your faces just for once that you can switch it off, please?
Yeah. Those of you in a position to.
Yeah.
Let us see your faces.
If you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Jemima?
Yeah.
I can see Jemima here.
Yeah.
Good.
One.
John, I can
Yeah.
see John.
Yeah.
Nah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, nah.
Good. I can see now. All right. Gloria. Gloria, do you mind?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's Gloria.
Now
Okay.
we can see Gloria there.
Yeah.
Good. Mercedes,
Yeah.
and then Aduma, and
Yeah.
then Patricia.
Patricia.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Good.
Patricia.
See Patricia.
Yeah.
Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
Gloria. Okay, we've seen everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. It's all ladies' team, eh?
Yeah. There's only one sandwiched man.
Wow. Okay.
He said he's an
Okay.
emergency, so. And the problem is
Okay.
that they
So,
always don't show their faces for me to see them. So I'm always alone in the
so
class.
you don't know them. Okay, at least
Yes.
you've seen them today.
Yeah.
Two roses among the two thorns among the roses.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kobe, and thank you, colleagues. I'm very privileged to be having a discussion with you. I come to Ghana regularly. I'm a Ghanaian from the name. I think no one needs to tell you. But I sold my birthright to the rest of the world, trying to get it back. As Dr. Kobe said, we've been doing some work in Ghana for the past 3 years, and we're currently working on the Ghana tourism marketing and brand strategy for the country. So with the ministry and the World Bank. But I think I'm here to also listen to you. Because it was a very short notice, I decided not to present any academic paper. So it's going to be what we call an action learning approach. So I'll be doing a short presentation. It could be very long, depending on how we take it. And you are welcome to stop and ask questions. Alternatively, you can allow me to finish. There, you can ask me questions. Also, because of the same notice period being short, and a short discussion I had with Dr. Kobe, I decided to just focus on one aspect of the industry, and that is what we call the MICE sector. But whichever sector and whatever that you are doing, you are in the MICE sector in a way, because the sector is a cross-sector, cross-cutting sector, and each of the value chain or the variables within the value chain speaks to the other. So what I'm going to do is that I did a quick presentation, and I'm going to possibly try and share if I can, and I will take you through. So I think Dr. Kobe, you may need to disable me.
Yeah, I would allocate you as the host.
Okay, and then I'll be able to share with you.
Yes.
But basically, okay, thank you. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Let me see. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. So basically, I think Dr. Kobe has introduced me. Besides that, it's very easy to find anyone these days with Madam Google. So if you want to know, I don't need to reintroduce myself. I'm sure you can find me on LinkedIn, Google, and all sorts of places. And I work for the Africa Tourism Partners as the CEO. I think I'll be very quick. This is the sector that you are in. And there is a lot of things across the sector. You can look that travel and tourism is an industry, as I said, that cuts across many industries. One area that a lot of people even don't realize, which if you look at a lot of presenters, they talk about, is the investment component, the real estate component. A lot of the accommodations that we have, I'm talking of the third item, technically are more in a real estate business than being in the tourism industry. But they basically form a key sector. I can tell you that what we look at across the industry, the areas that all of you can fit in, you start from the travel planning side. But normally, if I had time, there's a model that I could have used, which is start with the consumer. And naturally, you do what we call the consumer insights, which I'm sure that as part of your course you are going to look at. Is the most critical component at the beginning of everything, because we all know from basic marketing principle, every business starts with the consumer or the customer. So before even we get to the travel and tourism component that I've just shared with you on the slide, we normally will start with the consumer instead, understanding who the consumer is, what the consumer wants, what the consumer needs. How do we meet those needs? The behavior aspect of it. So you go to the whole consumer behavior, those who did consumer behavior at the university, and understand the consumer before even you start your business. Without that, you are going to chop the wrong wood in the forest. So we always advise that before even you start anything, make sure that the consumer insights are very clear. So you got to look at the demographic and the psychographics of a particular consumer that you want to target. Now, once that is known, the travel and tourism industry, the components that we look at, whether it's a traveler, whether it's an investor, whether it's a service provider, whoever your consumer is within the industry, once you've understood that particular consumer, you can pick any of the levels that I've indicated or the sectors that I've indicated. And then based on that sector, you'll be able to meet the consumer needs. So if your consumer is a tourist, obviously it starts with travel planning. So that those are the people that you want to serve. You have opportunity to become a travel agent. You have opportunity to own one. You have opportunity to become a tour operator, and you have opportunity to provide tour operating services. And the tour operating service doesn't go alone. Maybe you don't want to be there. You want to focus on the transportation side. You have a lot of money. You want to go into air. You want to go into shipping. That is the cruise. You want to go into rail. I know rail is not very popular in Ghana. And there we got a road. So you can specialize in any of these areas. Accommodation goes beyond what we got there. We got hotel, we got lodges, we got campsite, we got backpack site, we got a whole lot of variation of accommodation that one can get into. I know Ghana is very limited, and in today's world, we have what we call sharing accommodation, which is your Airbnb and also your booking.com and the rest that we don't have in Ghana. And then the local travel side, which is extremely important. In today's world, we have e-hailing, that is your Uber and Bolt and others that have come and assisting in the industry. So you can decide to go into that sector, or you may decide to own buses. I know you have VIP and STCs in Ghana, so there could be an opportunity of car rental. Then I heard some people talking of restaurants. There are different types of restaurants that one can look at based on the needs of the consumer that you like to service. And in Ghana, I know there are a lot of food outlets, from the woman selling plantain on the roadside and the one selling keke to an upmarket restaurant. So you may decide which one, plus the malls. And then it goes on to tourist sites, and then we talk of attractions and experiences, which this does not cover. In the interest of time, I will not go. I will share the presentation with you. So that basically fits into the bottom image that I've given you there, which we can analyze at another time. Now, what does that? What I've shared with you brings into play the information flow that also impact on the opportunities that we have in the industry. And I will not also go into detail. If one has to be in the food chain or manufacturing, or I heard someone saying that he does drinks, this is a very critical component of the industry. There are people who do manufacturing, there are people who do craft, there are people who do recycling. You might think that those are not in tourism. There are people who will do the furniture that you have in your hotel. There are people who will be supplying water, electricity, generators and stuff. So the supply chain is very big, but the most important one, the first tier, is the one that I spoke about previously, the accommodation, the transportation, and all those. I'm trying to give you a bigger picture or the opportunities that are there, because you are doing this course not just to have a certificate, but the purpose is for you to possibly grow within whatever business you are in, or possibly to diversify. So once again, this gives you an opportunity to understand what happens in the industry as far as information is concerned, what happens in the industry as far as business relationship is concerned, what happened in the industry as far as opportunity for investments are concerned. And these are areas that you can look at. Now, I'm going to focus on the mine sector, which, as I said, in the interest of time, I decided to focus because the tourism industry is very broad. And I've given an indication of what you can get through within the industry. It's not always good to try to be jack of all trade and master of none. So one area that you could always pick and focus on, if you don't have money to build hotel or to provide accommodation or to go in transport, to go into all the others, you can still benefit. And that is covered in a way that anybody can get into that industry when there is commitment, when there is some level of professionalism, and when the person really want to serve a bigger segment of the industry. Why do I say a bigger segment? A bigger segment because this drives what we call a group business in the industry, more than any other subsector within the industry. Now, what is the mines? I'm sure you've started already, so you know we are not talking of mice and rats here. We are referring to meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions or events, and I will get into detail. But basically, what the meetings mean is that there are two categories of meetings. We can go into a lot more detail, or they could even be three. There could be one that we call association meetings, and those are big ones. For instance, University Associations of Ghana, the Banking Association of Ghana, the Global Banking Association, and all those kind of organizations. Currently, you have Africa, which is sitting, then you got a couple of associations that are housed in Ghana or that are based in Ghana. So those are called association meetings. Then we got corporate meetings. Corporate meetings are basically, let's say PwC. I know there's someone from PwC, there's someone from the Port and Harbour Authority. You would like to have a corporate meeting where all your colleagues across the country could possibly come together at one venue and have a meeting. Obviously, we know with COVID things have changed, but that is a very, very big also segment of this particular sector of the industry. Then we have what we call global meetings. Global meetings is like the one Dr. Kobe talked about. We run a conference called the Africa Tourism Leadership, but within that conference, we have what we call Africa Tourism CEOs Forum. And that is a meeting of CEOs coming together from all over Africa, and that could be seen. So if you are running CEOs Forum from around the world, that could be a global meeting as well. And then we have incentive travel. Incentive travel basically normally is based on performance and is performance driven. So it's an incentive to a lot of the time employees of a company. Now, what does that mean? When people have done well and perform well annually, normally they are encouraged to travel and benefit from their successes in the course of the year. Another way is also to motivate them to be able to do better than what they did the previous year. So incentives travel is normally fully paid by the company, and the staff will go and they will embark on different activities at different places. Normally, they are mostly adventurous. They are mostly a way of getting staff to know each other and work better. Some of them, even staff may be encouraged to go with their partners and their families and stuff like that. So it's a way of motivating and saying thank you and encouraging staff to do well. And normally, as I said, it's paid by the company. It could be local, it could be international, it could be regional. And that is a very, very big market, and it's also a group one. And then we talk of conferences. Conferences are different from meetings. Meetings, basically, they're a group of like-minded people coming together. Conferences are like-minded people, but the difference between the two is that in meetings, a lot of the guys belongs to a particular group, a particular segment of the society, and they know each other. And that is why they have to come and agree with a particular agenda that will serve their own, their objectives for all of them, something that will benefit all of them. Conferences is not for a people within specific category. Normally, it depends whether you can afford it, whether you see value in it, whether you feel that the outcome will be beneficial to you. So conferences are not normally restricted, whereas meetings are normally restricted to a particular class or group of people. Exhibitions, that is very simple. In one way that we call it the trade fairs. So where goods are displayed and stuff like that. And those are one big opportunity that countries who host conferences basically benefit from in the way of bringing in investment into the country as a way of ensuring that people in a particular sector within the economy are able to build knowledge, they are able to learn new things, they are able to learn about new technology, they are able to learn about innovation in that particular sector of the industry. So we may have, for instance, automobile exhibition, you may have tourism exhibition, you may have, it could be port and harbor exhibition, it could be anything, it could be IT exhibition, and those are the exhibition. Now, this sector, although it's not considered by most African countries, Ghana is one of them. I know you have a convention bureau, but it's not that very active. It's the biggest economy on its own. So normally we say that this sector is bigger than tourism itself. Why do we say that? Because it involves a lot of research. It cuts across all the economic priority sectors in every single country or economy. And therefore, is very important. Now, the reason why I decided to focus on this, if you look at line number 3, I'm saying the MICE market referred to a specialized niche of group tourism. And I've underlined the word group because if you want to do very well in your business, group business is always very good because what it does is brings you volume. And with volume, even if the margins are very small, you are able to grow the business because with volume, you are always able to cover a lot of costs. You are able to hide a couple of areas where you can still make money. And there are a couple of value that could be unlocked by having a group business. So we say it's a niche of a group dedicated to planning, booking, and I would like you to underline that as well, booking and facilitating conferences, seminars, and other events, which is a big money maker in the travel and tourism industry. So what we are saying is that as you have the group, there's a lot of planning involved, and that involves money. There's booking for accommodation, booking for cars, booking for transport, booking for airlines, booking for entertainment, booking for logistics in terms of technical logistics to be used at the venue. And then you have to facilitate speakers. You got to facilitate sponsors. You got to facilitate partners. So there's a whole lot of facilitation involved. And all these areas that I've mentioned are ways that one can make money from conferences. Although with COVID, the landscape is going to change, but we believe that it will come back at a point in time. So if you want to leverage that, then you have to look at how the MICE sector and tourism are linked. You see the tourism on the left-hand side and the MICE sector on your right-hand side. And we are saying we are comparing the value chain. Everything that you have under tourism, they all lead to the MICE sector. DMC is basically destination management companies. So when you are organizing any of those segments, meeting, incentive, conference, and exhibition, you need to include tours, tour operators. You need transport. There could be team building, if it is an incentive trip, or it could be anything. There are social program, entertainment, night outs and stuff. Then you look at the technical side, where you have to bring professional engineers to come and help you to set a couple of, the stand, the drayage, the food and what do you call it, features and entertainment, cleaning, marketing, a whole lot of other people. So you have to bring a lot of professional guys to come and help you. Then we look at the EMCs that focuses on the entertainment side. Also, you need professional. And then we got what we call PCO, professional conference organizers, that you could also generate a lot of opportunities. Listening to some of you possibly those who like catering, you can fall under that side. But at the same time, you can go to the tourism side. There is forest here, there are speakers, there is security, there are venues, there is accommodation, which is not mentioned here, and so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, when we talk of the mine sector, this is what the mine sector entails, and these are the opportunities that are there. Right. Now, what I want to share with you is that the value chain of the mines, although I've spoken about that in the other one, just that the accommodation wasn't there. Something like printing was not there. We talk of industrial association, the media wasn't there. Broadcasting wasn't there. All these are opportunities that the mine sector. So if you remember, if you go to the previous slide, I used the word facilitation. So as somebody in the industry, you have to facilitate all these things to make sure that whether it's a conference, whether it's a meeting, whether it's incentive trip, whether it's an event or exhibition, you got to facilitate this. And these are opportunities to make money. So the margins might be very small, but because you have scale, you are able to still generate very good amount of money. Right. Now, this basically tells you that the mines is always taken for business purposes. Now, and because it's taken, the mines business takes place rather, or is carried out for business purposes, it is linked to business travel. And one thing that makes mines interesting is that a lot of the time is paid by the company and not the individual. And because it's paid by the company, the budget is not spared. Although we know with COVID, companies are going to watch carefully how much they spend on these things, but budget is not spared. So it's very important that whenever you think of mines, you must think about business travel. And when you think of business travel, then you must think that as an opportunity. Ghana, domestically, leisure has not been very great, but there is opportunity for business tourism. But unfortunately, the value of that has never been unlocked. So if you happen to be one of the first people in that sector, there is a huge opportunity. I can comfortably say that we don't have what in the industry we call professional conference organizers. A lot of them in Ghana. There are not many. I'm sure you can count on your 5 fingers who they are, and those are the people who have capitalized the market. And you got a lot of event organizers, but are they professional? Do they know what they are doing? I'm not very sure. This also includes people who organize social events, from funeral to weddings to outdooring, whatever that you can think of. They are all part of these. But the level of professionalism is below global standard. So I see that as an opportunity. However, I believe that the opportunity in the business side of it is bigger than everything. And the reason is that business travel itself is a catalyst for growth and support all international flow of foreign exchange into every country. As I said, it leads to investment. It brings a whole lot of things. So if I happen to be going into this, I will even go further by looking at the business side of it. Then we say that, why is it necessary? I will not be wasting your time here. It's often plays leading role in growth of the wider broad industry. So if every country would like to grow the travel and tourism sector from destination perspective, the one that they focus on mostly, will be the mines. In the past, it used to be leisure, and a lot of countries are still stuck in there. But the business side or the mine sector is extremely critical. As I speak to you, we are doing one for one of our provinces, what Ghana you call a region, for Gauteng. Gauteng is the heart of South Africa. That is where Johannesburg and Pretoria are. Is the biggest economy in South Africa, and they don't play with their mines at all. We are just reviewing their strategy for them. Right. So I would like to urge you to, whatever sector or along the value chain that you are, make sure that it's plugged into the mines section of it. The rest are pretty straightforward. The reason why the mines is critical, it connects people, and we say it's more 34 times more powerful than any other aspect of tourism, and people want to see people physically. As we are doing virtual, Mr. Kobe said something. He said that he can't see your face. If it's a face-to-face meeting, it would have been something different. And we take this thing for granted. So now we are doing virtual, but virtual will not be here forever. Virtual will support the physical meetings, obviously observing the COVID protocols, hygiene and safety protocols that World Health Organization and individual countries are putting in place. Now, another advantage also, you can have two groups as far as the mine sector, whichever group, you can have what you call a managed travel, where everything is organized from a company to whatever. Those are what are association meetings, those are incentives travel, those could be conferences, and those. But when it comes to social events, they are usually unmanaged. So if you happen to that place, you will be able to help those who are having those social events, whether you are supplying the food, you are supplying the drinks, whichever aspect that you are adding to that particular event. So we say business travel managers from many countries always expect, basically the number, we believe that the number will be increasing over the years. That was before COVID. But with COVID, I think we are all waiting to see what will unfold out of that. But before COVID, the number of people getting to the mine sector globally was increasing. And we, as a company, we run what we call the Africa Mines Masterclass, which within the lab for the past 3 years, we are also building capacity within the industry. Right. I will not waste your time here again. I will be very quick. I've already explained a couple of these, but this was in particular to South Africa. So it will be something that you can look at your spare time, because I've gone through a couple of them. And if you have a question, you are welcome to ask me. Now, once again, what is the significance? I've already spoken about all this, the value. But the point that I would like you to check is this one. That is comparison spend. If you look at what an average tourist spend versus somebody who is going for a conference or any mines activity will spend, domestic and international. This gives you an idea, the value of the mines industry. At the bottom there, you can also look at the figures that the last one that I've put there, it will also give you an indication of what figures this is generating. So what we are saying is that companies on average will spend about $949. That is if they are traveling domestically. But if they are traveling internationally, this is what they spend. So if you are the organizer, normally the rule of thumb is usually 10% of the spend that you get from the company, or you mark it up or you charge 10%. So that means every 949 business that you get, you are going to earn about $95. And if it's 2,000, you are going to earn that. So if you multiply by the number of people that you might be dealing with, that will give you an indication of what you get. And then this is the total value of the industry as at 2018. 2019, it went up to almost 2 billion, but with COVID, we're sure that the number has gone down tremendously. Right. Now, very important, I look at this slide because of COVID. One important thing I would like to raise is that COVID is going to be with us for the next, from my personal perspective, the next 1 year to 18 months. Why I say that even if there is a vaccine or whatever they call it, we'll still be traveling around. It's a virus. It will be hiding somewhere. It will be hiding in places. And there's going to be remnants of it. So whatever plan that we make, we got to make sure that we take COVID into account. And therefore, with COVID, there is going to be a shift in travel behavior. And these are the things that are going to happen. From flight to accommodation to food. I'm not sure what is happening in Ghana. I've had sight on some of the protocols that is being worked on in Ghana, but it's still a lot of work need to be done. So all these things are going to happen. So whatever side of the industry that I would like to focus on, I would like you to bear in mind that there's going to be a shift in consumer behavior. And that shift will be influenced by COVID. And COVID has actually expedited the use of technology and the need for technological innovation, right? We've seen how airplanes, those that are opening, that are coming online are changing. Travel policies are going to change, and that will be influenced by the COVID. And we say that there's going to be multi-channel hyper connectivity, personalization, customization, and consumerization will disappear. Why are we saying that? Now, because of the fact that we are in this particular situation, each and every individual is treated as an individual. You cannot generalize. So when you are dealing with people, it's very important that you understand the behavior of each one of them. Does the person have any underlying sicknesses? Is the person have allergy issues? Is the person going to conform to the rules of your company, whether you are serving food, whether you are doing a conference, whether you are offering accommodation? It doesn't matter along the value chain. So you have to be very, very careful that you understand the dynamics within the industry and individuals. And that is why I started at the beginning by talking about what we call consumer insights, basically doing the segmentation based on demographic and psychographic and attitudes and whatever that you can call them. So this is very, very important, and it's changing the industry. Before I go on, this is the 9th slide. I would like to stop here and ask if there are any questions before we carry on, or comments.
Guys, any questions or comments? Bless, welcome.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello, guys.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah, Gloria, any questions or comments?
No, please.
Okay.
Okay, let's go one by one. Mercedes?
Yes.
You have a question
I'm okay.
or comment? Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
It's been good so far, yes.
Bless Ruth?
Yeah, okay. Now,
Joan? Or is it Joan or Joan? Joan. No question.
You have any questions or contribution?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. With this nice in-depth discussion we have had on mice, I wanted to know, does it take so much to invest in such a sector? Probably if you call yourself a mice expert or somebody who has probably attended one of your master classes, how will the setting up be? Do you go around sharing your complimentary cards? Because it's not something that has probably got the foothold in Ghana. So how do you brand yourself as somebody who has the competency to be attractive to people who would give you jobs?
Okay, that's a very, very interesting and valid question. Like any other profession, it comes with experience. And the next currency for it is trust. So one, you are right, you have to attend some training to understand exactly what it takes place. But before you do that, there are different segments, that subsectors that you have to look at. If you look at it, I mentioned a couple of areas. The M, meetings. So if you can become a professional meeting planner, there is a qualification. Unfortunately, that qualification is more American than African. And that is why we run the master classes. But when you have it, it gives a bit of credibility, although the Africans don't know it. But your best credibility is based on trust and experience. And normally what we will do is that once that you've agreed you want to go in, what we have got a program. If you go into our website, we call it our straight program, straight membership program. Basically, that you need a bit of hand holding. And what I mean by that is you got to get someone who is industry, who is an expert in the industry, not necessarily from Ghana, and then indicate to that person you are interested, you learn, and that person will possibly bring you on board, and the person will work with you, possibly on 2 events or programs in your country, and through that particular experience, you will become an expert. Now, one thing that I always caution about, you said a very important point. Having a business card and going around people, or you have to prove to them that you can deliver. And you can only deliver if you've had the experience. So to go into that sector, you always need to build some level of experience. You can start with meetings, you can start with events, you can start. Incentives travel is extremely difficult. And what I mean by that is that the companies, there is a lot of risk, taking staff away, making sure that they go out. So they prefer to work with someone, we call them incentive plan, has got the expertise, has got a global experience, and is able to basically run the event seamlessly, from flight to accommodation to activities to experiences, whatever. And that is difficult. But in Ghana, for instance, if you want to really specialize, that is one area there isn't. I don't see a lot of Ghana. There's a big company that have one in Ghana. I won't mention the name. The CEO happened to be a friend of mine, and they came here just last November, and they were telling me that it was organized by PCO. We call PCO mean Professional Conference Organizer. And there were so many issues with that particular trip, even where they have to go and have their first meal when they were booked, because that person knew people in Ghana, Ghanaians who are here, and the guy said, no, we can cook the kenke, we can do that, we can do that. Coincidentally, happened that the place that they had to go and eat belonged to a friend of mine, I guess, house. And it wasn't what we were expecting. So what I'm saying is that the business card will not do you justice. You might need a bit of hands-holding. First, you need a training. And after the training, you need a bit of hands-holding. And with that hand-holding, slowly, you'll be able to grow. I don't know if I've addressed your question.
Okay.
Network.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Next.
Any other question?
Yes, please. How can somebody join your master class? What are the qualifications?
The master class is not, you get it only certificate of attendance. We don't give a qualification that says that you've got a. We do that intentionally because a lot of people will have their MMC, they will have the MBAs, they will have whatever, but that does not give you the experience. So the master class will bring experts, people who have done the job, who knows what, who have done it before, and they share their real life experience and teach you. So that is part of the hand-holding size. To join is we run once or twice a year, and we do country specific. This year we did it with South Africa and the rest of Africa in February. We might do one virtual, which we have to partner with the host country. So if we are going to do anything like that, I think one is supposed to take place sometime this month, but we don't know if it's been confirmed or not. We will let you know through Dr. Kobe, and you can take it from there, or you can get my office details and we'll be able to share with you if it's happening. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. With no further questions, we can proceed. Slide number 10. So basically, these are the countries that are leading in that sector. That was as far as 2017. We have the current statistics, but I couldn't pull it off because of time on my side, but not much has changed. Globally, the leading countries are these. It's basically linked to tourist arrivals also. You asked me, where are the African countries? The only African country that rank, which I'll get to another slide, very high is South Africa. And recently we got Rwanda, we got Morocco, and I think Egypt. Those are the leading African countries in this sector. So we are still lagging behind as far as the industry is concerned, but that is an opportunity. So when we say the source market, that is where a lot of the meetings come from, the conferences come from. So they move out of here to the rest of the world. So if you happen to be in the industry and that you want to get international business, this is where you go. But as an individual, and let me caution, it's difficult for you to crack this. The destination, which is the country, has to make effort. They have to put resources. They have to market the country as such, as a my destination, before you start attracting. As an individual, it's an extremely difficult. So if you want to start, it's good that you start domestically. That is one. Or, as I initially said, you find a partner internationally who has got expertise and experience and interested in the Ghanaian market and will be able to work with you in this particular industry. So this is just to give you an indication where the business is coming from and then the value of those businesses globally. Basically, these are the big markets. And if you look at tourist arrivals, this is not far from the current tourist arrivals before COVID-19, where a lot of the outbound tourists are coming from. And it's linked to also the country population and the economy of the country. The stronger the country and the more powerful the economy, the more mice business they export outside the country, or they take to other countries. Mice in Africa, I'll also not waste your time here, but basically the most important point is this one. The growth was 40%. It was growing very fast as far as the numbers were concerned. And a lot of reason, because African economies are doing well. If you've seen, Ghana has been having a lot of conferences, not as much as South Africa, Rwanda, possibly Morocco and Egypt, but Ghana has been coming up. A lot of countries are coming up. So there is a lot of opportunities that are there in the African continent. As I said, in Africa, South Africa is basically the biggest producer as far as price is concerned. But also there are issues of visa, connectivity, and all this that will impact on it. So there is a special topic on mice in Africa. This was just to give you an what is happening. And as I was talking, the number, this hasn't changed a lot. As I said, South Africa leads, Morocco, Rwanda. This was 2018, but it's still the same. It's still South Africa, Morocco, and Rwanda, then Egypt, and then the rest come. If you look at Ghana, Ghana was number 9. I'm not sure of the current figure where Ghana is. So Ghana is trying. If a dedicated effort is put into this, Ghana will do very well, because in West Africa, Ghana has got all the opportunity to become the hub of travel So hopefully in the next 3-5 years time, they'll be able to reach there. The only challenge is when within looking at the political landscape, when that changes, it also affects everything. So in Ghana, but this is Ghana here at the moment. Right. Now, that was just a case of South Africa. Can you hear me? It says my internet is unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can, okay. I will not waste time on this. You can read that at your own spare time. But this will give you an indication how South Africa is doing. But South Africa is doing well because there is a South African National Convention Bureau that sits with the South Africa Tourism Board, or we call it South Africa Tourism. So it's the authority. And then South Africa is structured under provinces, which in Ghana you call them regions. Each of the provinces has also got their own tourism board and their own convention bureau, most of them. And with that collective effort, they are able to deliver more. Another reason why South Africa is doing it, the economy is much stronger, it's much developed than Ghana. So there are so many reasons why South Africa should be doing better than all African countries. But this is just to give you a taste how South Africa is doing as far as the industry is concerned. Right, and again, when you look at the South African market, these are some of the statistics, how the industry is contributing to the South Africa economy. Global trends, very important. If you want to go in, you got to be innovative. One size fits all does not work anymore. And that is why you need somebody, a mentor, a coach, or somebody to hold your hands to get through that. Because with what has just happened, everything has to be innovated. If not, you will not be able to do. Another important point is flexibility. When you are starting, you got to be flexible because you don't have the experience. So you should be able to, you should be flexible to work with budget, somebody with smaller budget, somebody giving you a beat, something within a short space of time or within a very short notice, you should be able to do that. One critical component that we got to check now is going to be catering. I'll give you an example. For with COVID, a lot of the protocols that are coming from around the world are stopping what we call buffet. And here in South Africa, for instance, restaurants and even the conference facilities can take 50, and at that 50, you are not allowed to serve buffet. Now, with the buffet also, you are not even allowed to sell drinks. So these kind of challenges and trends are going to impact on the industry. So as you think of getting into it, unfortunately, this one is even across the whole tourism value chain. You just have to pay attention to it. Sustainability is becoming critical and even is more eminent than ever. People want to make sure that the place that they go has got some sort of sustainability, credibility, and features, meaning that it got to speak to the environment, it got to speak to the planet, cleanliness of the place, ensuring that there is some level of social responsibility, ensuring that the resources that are being used are recyclable and that kind of stuff. And I think technology and innovation go together. What is going to happen is that there's going to be touchless and contactless kind of relationship. So if you are going to do anything, you make sure that people are not changing stuff between themselves and people are not adhering to. I don't like the word social distancing. I prefer physical distance because that is what it is. I'm not sure how we've all caught up in social distancing. We cannot, if not, we will not be speaking here, we'll not be talking here. But I'm not sure why global everyone is talking of social distancing. So technology will make it easier where people are not touching stuff and changing stuff. And obviously the COVID protocol. So these are the trends that we have to look into. There is more, but as a beginner, if you would like to look into this, you have to consider. Coincidentally, this does not only apply to the mine sector, it applies to every single point across the value chain. So whether you are in attractions, whether you are in services, whether you are in transportation, whether you are in technical supplies of technical staff for for conferencing, whatever section within the value chain that you are, these are going to be applied. So I want you to take note of this and make sure that as you go along and you do your course, these are things that you have to have at the back of your mind as you go along and possibly trying to translate what you are learning into actual business. Right. Again, I keep on going to different levels of value chain because you are new. And I felt that is very important that you understand these things before you even proceed with your program. More importantly, you can look at the value chain across at different levels. But what is happening is that none of the segments, the mines, incentives, conferences, and exhibition or events can actually take place without this particular value chain. And this same value chain at the same time applies to normal leisure travel. You need all the suppliers, right? You need the destination. Destinations are the countries. And you need the technology, because these days I'm doing some work and I was reviewing Australia and Canada, US, China, and the UK. And a lot of the consumers' profiles, now some of them spend about 60% of their time So what we are saying is that you as the beginners, you can fall within here. This very expensive one, airlines. We know that it's not easy and it's going to be more expensive. But here you can play a bit of a role, whether it's 3, 4, 5 bedroom. Ghana will call it a hotel. We may call it guest house globally. So there are opportunity destinations basically for the country. So Ghana is the destination, or I know there's someone from digital marketing for app. There is so much that can take place. GDS is global distribution system. When you want to book a flight or you want to book a hotel, you go online. There is a central point. When you go online, it goes through a couple of channels that before it gets to the hotel or the airplane, and they all get their commission. So that's the GDS system. It's a bit technical. And a lot of the travel agents that you see are using GDS. One of them is Amadeus. We got Galileo. There are others that are there, but most of them work together. All right. And then we talk of destination management systems, depending on which country. A lot of countries have got their own destination management system, where you go to the country's website, like let's say visit Ghana, and you can book your flight and accommodation and everything there. And then out of this, we have what we call the walk-ins. That is, you have the travel agents in shopping malls, and then you have small travel agents in office with their small office. I see them in Ghana on roadsides and a couple of people. And you also have, I don't know if there are call centers for travel agents in Ghana, but in a lot of countries like Flight Center and Obis and a couple of countries, call centers that you can call in. So those are the distribution channels that one can think of. And then intermediaries. So it is travel tour wholesaler. Basically, the tour wholesaler is, we got Thomas Cook, which recently got into trouble. They basically buy in bulk, and then they buy in bulk from hotels, from retail agents. That require a lot of money, and it's not something that any of you can get into at the moment, unless you are going to buy an existing tour wholesaler. Even in Ghana, I don't think there is a wholesaler in Ghana at the moment. So that is what normally they are based in the big markets, big outbound market that I show you. Then travel agents, we all know who they are. TMCs is travel management companies. So there are companies that have got like we got what do you call it? Flight Center is one of them. We got Club Travel is one of them. We got I've just forgotten the name, but there are thousands of them out there. BD Travel is one of them. So there are a couple of TMCs around. Like Ghana used to have Wakana. That could be a travel management company. And Seekers Travel is one of them. Abercrombie and Kent is one of them. So we can talk about them. And then you got specialized travel agents. These ones focus on niche market. They don't just deal with the general public. They deal with specific companies. They deal with particular niche markets, and that is what they are. So one can also look at this, and they all contribute to the MICE sector at the same time, the main travel and tourism. And if you remember when we started, I said you have to do consumer insights. So there is an arrow from the right, that goes through to the left. So before you get to any of these areas, you have to get that right, the customers. If you get that right, see the packages, you will decide what kind of service that you are going to offer, whether it's a business or is a leisure travel. This is not bus, please. It's business or leisure travel. And then with that, there is a corporate behind it. If it's a leisure travel, usually an individual, but you might have defined the profile of that particular individual before even you start thinking of what you are presenting. And then we got others that might not fall within family travel, church travel, and all those kind of others. But different levels of value chain that I've shown you, as you go and you go along with this thing, make sure you pay attention to those, because that is where the job opportunities are. Right. This is a good example of what is happening in Africa. This was as of 2017. With COVID, I know the numbers will go down. So as I was saying, the small ones are very easy. The big ones is very difficult. You see, we got only 22 of the wholesales in South Africa. And out of the 22, I can tell you there is a company that owns about 5 of them. So it's not something that one can go in. All right. And then the smaller on the TMCs and the travel agent, we go to over 600. So anybody can get into there. Right. So this gives you an example of what is happening here. So that is the case of South Africa, to give an idea. Then the role of mines, I would not waste time on that. Again, that is the role that the mines plays in every economy. It's good to have that to do your business, but that is actually not what you are looking for. The leisure opportunity. Leisure, I say, is not just a buzzword. Leisure basically means business plus leisure, right? So when the B stands for business travel and the L stands for leisure travel, it's a very big opportunity that a lot of people haven't looked into. When people travel on business, they make time to spend some time for leisure, even if it's a day or half day. So if we are going to go into the mines industry, it's another component that you can basically benefit. If I come for a conference in Ghana, or I come for a meeting in Ghana, maybe I want to explore a bit. It's my first time, let's assume. Even me, that being a Ghanaian, every time that I come to Ghana, I hear about something else. I'm there for business, but I hear about something else and I would like to explore and experience. So as you go into this sector, it's a big money spinner, and people spend on this because normally, if they are being sponsored by their company, they still have their own pocket money or per them that they can spend on other things. So it's a big opportunity that a lot of people in the mine sector don't consider, but it's extremely critical. So from there, to summarize the benefits of and the opportunities in mines, if you look at the right-hand side, the blue one, I said personnel and businesses involved in the mines market include corporate meeting planners, So basically, you focus on doing planning meetings for companies, general meetings. It could be small group of people or association meetings. And then we have convention departments. So some people purely focus on convention. What is the difference between convention and meetings? Conferences, convention are the same as conferences. All right, so we use them interchangeably. There is opportunity for people to work in hotel departments, hotels under the conference department. A lot of hotels have got what they call banqueting and conferencing department that focuses purely on that. So if you have to look for employment, that is an opportunity and not just working for somebody. Then we talk of conference centers, like we have, is it Accra International Conference Center? I think a lot of hotels may have them. In different countries, they have international conference center. And if you are a professional in this sector, there is also opportunity. There's a huge opportunity on cruise ship. I'm surprised we don't see a lot of Ghanaians on cruise ship. I don't know whether visas are refused or whatever, but South Africans are given that opportunity a lot. Then you have food and beverage. Managers, that is F&B, logistics, all the areas that I spoke about. Here are the opportunities that could come your way if you want to be in this sector. Right. And then we say because of the organization and planning involved, typically years in advance, MICE travel agents are usually affiliated with large corporations. So if you look at the travel side of MICE, then obviously your first bet to be successful is to identify companies that plan incentive stream, that has meetings. So if you look at Stanbic, for instance, Stanbic is a big company. So these are going on all the time. MTN, all the big corporates are doing that. Even the government departments, I don't know how you call them, but we call them the state-owned enterprise or the parastatals. They all have that opportunity. So if you want to go there, all these opportunities that are there, you can also get them from that particular sector with large corporates. And then destinations. Unfortunately, we don't have a convention bureau, but in different countries, as I said, in the US, for instance, Las Vegas has got their own Las Vegas Convention Bureau. Australia, Melbourne has got Melbourne Convention Bureau. South Africa has got its own. Kenya has just established one. Rwanda has been going for a couple of years now. All those present job opportunities if you like to work in that sector. But you need to start from somewhere. Right. Then, how do you leverage those opportunities? I think someone was asking about getting the certificate and stuff. These are some of the areas that you could sharpen your skills. The unfortunate side is a lot of these associations are not African based. If you look at it, we have what you call the Event Industry Council. They have a program called Meetings Planner International, and that they run a course called Certified Meeting Professional, CMP, or Certified Meeting Planner. That program is American based. Only few people in Africa have it, and whether it's giving them the return on investment is another thing. But if you happen to be dealing with an American company, they will never give you business unless they know that you are a certified meeting planner, and that falls under the Events Industry Council Global. SITE is also, they also have their own program. SITE is a professional organization for what we call Society for Incentive Travel Excellence. So they basically focuses purely on incentive travel that I spoke about. UFI is the Union of International Travel Fairs, and that is an association, it's a global association of the exhibition industry. And they also have their own qualifications, and actually they even have scholarships for people to go and do some of their programs. And that is recognized. However, as I said, in Africa, it's not very recognized. I think it's only South Africa at the moment that is a member. Yes, and then we have UIA, Union of International Associations. They are also there. They don't offer they offer short courses and stuff, but that's necessarily not recognized in Africa again. So what are we doing about this? The good news is about 6 countries have mandated my company to create what we call Coalition of Africa Convention Bureau, which we've started. I will share the material with Dr. Kobe and he can share with you. But we haven't made noise because we want to get to the level where we feel that it's performing its duties properly. And one of the ideas is to overcome these challenges by having all these and then putting training that will be certified by that Coalition of Africa Convention Bureau and their members. And with that, we will have obviously, we'll be involved in developing the program. So the idea is to see the global best practice or international best practice and see how that can be adapted to Africa. It's extremely critical now more than ever because people are now going to look at Africa and find out if we as Africans are up to the challenge of COVID, the protocol. And there is what I call COVID phobia. We are all going to have COVID phobia. We are all going to be COVID 12 to 18 months, possibly to 2 years. So we are all going to be careful. We are going to wear our masks. We are going to make sure the place that we visit, the conference that we have, stick to the rules. So if you are not up to standard and there's no international confidence in your company, in your product, in your services, you will not be able to survive. So that is why it's important to have ICA. They are not for everyone. They focus on conferences only. So all the associations that are there, like let's say Pharmaceutical Association, University Association, Gynecologist Association, whatever, they all fall under this. And they register with them and they have a database. So database. The reason for this, the association conference rotate. They are rotational and they are big money spinners, or respond to proposals for these meetings to be able to hold them in their countries. Now, I think we've dealt with this already, so I will not waste time on that again. And on this note, there are opportunities. You shouldn't see COVID as a threat only. As we sit here, we are having a virtual conference in a way. And there is an opportunity for somebody to get into that space in Ghana to say that, can I create a virtual conferencing product that Ghanaians in Ghana can use? We know everyone can use Zoom, but you pay for it. But there are virtual conferencing platforms like 10 times Hopping, a couple of them that you can do exhibition, you can do one-on-one meetings, you can do a whole lot of breakaway sessions. Is anybody looking at that? So COVID is not just negative. It got this positive side as well. So if we are beginners here, that is an opportunity you could look into. Right, you can even go for a franchise and learn and become an expert in there. That leads to technology innovation. The challenges we have though is visa openness. Ghana is trying, if you look at the Africa Development Bank Visa Openness Report or World Organization Visa Openness Report, Ghana is ranking at 7, which is not bad. However, it's still a challenge. So if you are a beginner, my view will be you focus in your area, you create a niche. I know there's a lady in Takrad, there's one in Ho. I will start from those cities and see what opportunities I can leverage. Airfares you can't do much about, they are going to be much higher, and therefore you should try and domesticate every opportunity that you like to have now and not try to look for international business at the moment. Then hotel development trends, Africa was doing very well, so there are more hotels and the mine sector was going to grow, but with COVID, we don't know whether we will still carry on having many hotels being built to drive the industry. So on this note, I would like to end, and you are welcome to ask me any questions that you want. It's 9:45 my time. I know it's 7:45 your time.
Yeah.
Well, let's discuss any questions or comments that you may have.
Fantastic. Mr. Kwakye, fantastic presentation. Anytime, every time that you don't cease to amaze. You know, I'm so grateful for this. Guys, so that's what you have, opportunities, some of the learnings we need to apply ourselves to, the professions available. So let's get the discussions going. Yeah? Any questions or contribution or any expectations that you have?
Hello, ladies. Did I do something wrong?
Oh no, sir.
No, sir.
Hey, can't be that quiet. Eh?
Oh,
Um,
we learned a
I
lot.
know ladies talk, so why are they so quiet?
Yeah. Okay. All right. No one.
Okay, Dr. Kobe, maybe call
Yeah.
one by one. People will ask, will talk.
Okay. All right. Who is coming up?
I see there's a professor in the room.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yeah. So, doctor,
Mhm.
what help can be given to the hotel industry now that COVID is going to stay with us for some time? Are they going to close down? What strategies can they put in place to at least to keep the business going or to help our tourist industry moving since people are not allowed to travel? What can be put in place to help? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Dr. Kobe, you want to give it a shot?
Mr. Kwachi, if you can go ahead, please.
Okay, there are different levels. I'm not sure of Ghana. I know that the industry went to see the president and there have been what we call stimulus packages and stuff. I'm not sure how far they've given them. So the government globally, those countries where the government can, the government is supporting one, giving them money to be able to pay staff and sustain themselves for the next couple of months. Some countries 6 months, some countries 3 months, depending on the strength of the economy. The second point is that some countries are giving incentives, tax incentives. For instance, there is moratorium on tax, so people will not pay for taxes. If they borrow to buy the properties and stuff like that and cars, there is a moratorium on payment. They are not supposed to pay until some 6 months, some 5 months, different countries. I'm not sure of the Ghana one. I haven't looked into that. Then there is a lot of countries, the tourism boards are helping the industry to use this time to train. So the tourism authorities have taken responsibility. They are paying for it and making sure they equip the owners with the skills. There are two skills that are needed. One of them is business continuity. That is, how are they able to minimize their costs now to be able to continue with the business, because there's nothing coming in. The assets are there, you can't get rid of them. So how do you maintain those assets that you have? Whether they are cars, they are hotels, they are offices. That is one. The second point is, how do you guide them to say, when you come back, how do you restart the business? You have to come with innovation, you got to come with new ideas, because the business is not going to be the same. If you have a hotel that takes, let's say, 100, it's a 100-bedroom hotel, double occupancy will give you 200. That means 2 people are sharing a room. Now you may not be able to have 2 people in a room. You may, unless they are traveling together and both of them are comfortable doing that. In that case, your occupancy levels will go down. How does that apply to pricing? That means your pricing model has to change. So a lot of these people don't know how to work about that. And a lot of countries are bringing in experts to guide these people to be able to do at the cost of the country and not the owners. So there are a lot of measures. Then there is also a lot of online training and stuff like that. We have got one we call Tipsy, where you can watch video. I'll get the office to give a link to Dr. Kobe. He can share with you videos and you learn how to do things. How do you practice the COVID issues? How do you attend to a couple of issues? So there are so many measures in Ghana. To be honest, I don't know. I'm yet to speak to the CEO.
Yeah.
I've seen a draft of the protocol to understand exactly what they are doing, so that as we do the work that we are doing, we also take that into account.
Yeah.
So those are the measures.
Yeah.
Now, as a small operator, having your own property, the best thing is to spend your time on training, online training. I'm not talking of webinars, training. They are two different things. There are too many webinars going on. I'm personally zoomed out. I even refuse to sit and speak at webinars at the moment, because everyone is talking about the same thing, and everyone is an expert, and everyone is an event organizer. Everyone knows everything. So that will not necessarily help you. Spend time, find quality material, and then use that to prepare yourself, so that when the business comes back, you will be ready to welcome people to your place or welcome your guests.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think that the same thing is happening. The government has actually asked the banks to actually suspend, some payments. So there's a moratorium on, loans, etc., for businesses. Again, there's a stimulus package, for the SMEs, especially in the tourism area. And I think that's also ongoing at the moment. Yeah, so these are some of the initiatives.
That's excellent. So that's very good.
Any other
question?
Mr. Donkor, let me continue, please. But can we have an online tourist experience whereby, let's say, because the people will not be able to visit the tourist areas, can we develop maybe a site where these places will be, I don't know.
It's the virtual reality experience.
Yes, videos.
So I know Ghana.
Yes,
Ghana
videos
is looking at it. Ghana is looking at it. I'm very sure. And what we are doing is also recommended. Is basically getting people to dream and experience the place before they come. A lot of countries have been doing it before COVID. I know very well Ghana is considering. Remember, they did a No Ghana, Stay Home, No Ghana campaign.
Yeah.
And that is to drive domestic tourism. Internationally, I know they have they had a video that was launched right at the beginning of COVID, Experience Ghana video. Yeah. So a lot is happening, but the virtual reality, and I know Dr. Kobe and his students have been looking at this seriously, but I know the virtual reality is what we are talking about, where the destination, like the castles and stuff, you will be able to experience them sitting in, we call it staycation. You stay in your room or whatever, and then you'll be enjoying holidays as if you are there. So I know they are looking at it, but I'm not sure how far they are.
Yeah, in fact, we've been doing it for the past 7 years. This was supposed to be our eighth edition, and then because of COVID, we could actually do the destination leg one, which is typically virtual tourism, experiences. But anyway, yeah, so that's what is going on at the moment. Okay. Any other? I know, Kwame, you said you had an experience you wanted to share with us.
Well, let me quickly apologize for late in joining the class, Doctor. First of all, this afternoon I found myself going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, I was called to the office. I lead a small team, and so what happened was that a vehicle ran into a major electricity line that caused power interaction on the Spintex Road. So all the companies on the Spintex Road have been affected. Now, whilst power went off, we had guests in our hotel, and we decided to turn on generator. Generator, very reliable. Unfortunately, also the generator is not turning on. What do we do? Here's a situation: we have new people. In fact, 5 new people in there. So honestly, as a leader, I had to go in talk to the guest one by one, because this is their first time and this is their first experience. And how do you convince them that, I mean, they will have to come back and that this particular situation will not repeat itself? I think that we were in a way able to convince them, but we did something. We had a small, how do you call it, a small souvenir. Whilst we spoke with them, I got a team to quickly work on the generator for the ECG. I'm not sure they're going to give us like tonight. It will take probably another 2 days because it's a major high tension. So, I mean, we convinced the guests in there, give them something small, and I told them that tomorrow is the day they are checking out, and our checkout time is 12 o'clock. I mean, the only thing I told them is we can do 2 o'clock for them, and then probably give them lunch before they go. So that's been my experience. It's very terrible. I mean, this happens once in a while, but it's something I want to share for all of us to learn from, especially those of us who intend having our own business, especially in the tourism sector.
Mr. Kwakye, what's the best practice for service recovery of this situation? I mean, the global practice.
I think there are 3 levels. The first one is reaction, and that is what he just said. He's reacted and responded by going to the client and explaining to them what happened, apologizing and making them comfortable, and making sure that you have their confidence. Once the client is gone, but actually before they go, it's very important that you do a quick questionnaire or survey, whatever. Let them give you their full experience, including that particular incident, so that you have it on record. Once they left, you have to communicate with them, inviting them to come back. Global experience in such a situation, you may give them not just a gift, but you may have to possibly give them part of the money back and say, looking at the situation, we've inconvenienced you, because if they were doing some business or they came for deal or whatever, this might have cost them money.
Yeah.
So you, as the owner of the place, you basically forfeit the business and give it to them. But what you do is that you have some, I would say, soft agreement with them to get their commitment that they will come back. So you send an invitation to them and say that their next business, they should come back. Even that, you tell them, you will basically give them something back on that.
Yeah.
What you are doing is that you are building what we call an ambassador for your hotel. So once that they've left and you keep the communication, anybody who is coming from that particular destination or their company will come back to you. And globally, that is the way it is. Naturally, you have a problem with the hotel general manager. I'm not sure what Kwame's position is, because hotel manager is measured on revenue and they are measured on occupancy. But if you are in the marketing and business development, you want to get a client in, you look at the long term. So it's always good to make sure that you got consensus between you and the general manager to make sure that whatever communication that you give, you are all in agreement. You don't do it in silos. Mm-hmm. So naturally, that is the way that you go about global best practice.
Excellent. Yeah, I was going to say that because I remember when we were in Yale. We went to Yale and we had a problem with our heating. Exactly was the reaction. They gave us, I think, 25 or 30% back of our pay, the payment, the room or whatever. So yes, you probably would want to, you would probably want to part away some money, either now or maybe promising them, a day free, for the next visit or something, just like Mr. Kwakye said. All right, guys, without any other questions or contributions, we would ask one of you to or maybe Mr. Kwakye will wrap up, and then his last words if he has, and then we'll ask one of you to thank him for spending the time. I know in South Africa it's very cold, and it's late, being up, till now. So, yeah, Mr. Kwakye, your last words, or somebody actually.
I'm sitting in my study, but I hardly sit here these days. Okay, no, thank you very much. I think it was great knowing all of you, and I hope you've learned something. I think in future, I know you might want academic literature and quotation. I didn't do that.
No, that one is for me. Yours was just to speak to this one.
Yeah. So if you want any literature or stuff, Dr. Kobe is there to support you. But if you have any further questions, go through him. He knows how to get me in the middle of the night, and then we can always talk. If I happen to be in Ghana, let's hope COVID goes out, and then you stop quarantining people when they arrive and they have to pay. I'm not coming. If I'm coming to my own country, I'm going to be quarantined. Then I'm coming until that particular protocol is off the table. When I come, maybe opportunity comes, we'll be able to meet once again. Thank you for allowing me into your homes and your classrooms. Thank you very much. Dr. Kobe, thank you for putting this together.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Who is going to do the Thanksgiving for us?
The class reflector has prompted me to do that on behalf of the class.
Okay,
I believe that this is we've been impacted with a lot of new knowledge. I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the class to say a very big thank you to Mr. Kwakye Donkor. Even though I didn't sit in for long, I believe that my colleagues will tell me a lot which I can learn from. I also want to say that this is a beginning of that relationship with you. A lot of us will contact you, and we believe that you will have more to tell us going forward. We also want to tell our lecturer that we appreciate the fact that he keeps on bringing us expertise that we can expect that we can always learn from. And moving forward, once we are the first batch, we believe that we will be able to turn around the industry in a small way and subsequently impact others with knowledge. Thank you so much.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Kwakye. And we can't thank you enough. Hopefully, we'll continue the conversation. And as you said, when the COVID is gone away, hopefully we'll start our program, the master classes, the training with UGBS Ed, etc. So we are very grateful. Thanks so much for that, and enjoy your evening. Okay, guys. Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So we'll meet again, I think, later on in the week. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you should move the hosting to your side, because if I end,
I think you have to transfer it to me from your end.
Just guide me here. I'm lost.
So if you click on my name, and then you said assign me as a host. When you know where it says more, when you highlight my name on your right, there's more there. On my name, when you put the cursor on my name.
Yeah, I'm on your name.
Yeah, there's more. You see a highlight.
Mute, stop,
yeah.
pin, make a host. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much. All right. And good night.
Thank
you so much. Okay. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. When is our next class, please?